I know I have. We're going to share, and then we have a few speakers who are going to come share. And so let's watch a few videos. So, Pastor Paul, did it.
Truth and Peace have changed my life because over the past 3 years I've learned how to serve for others, and it just kind of gives me that joy knowing that I can do something for someone else and it can make their entire day.
Truth and Peace has bettered my understanding of the importance of serving others and has bettered my ability to serve.
Truth and Peace has changed my life completely and how I've learned to genuinely worship the Lord and study His Word each and every day.
Truth and Peace has helped me learn a lot about myself and my personality, which then in turn helped me learn how to deal with people socially in various relationships and friendships. I also feel like my experience with Truth and Peace has helped my relationship with God. I feel like I am much closer to God than I would have been if I had not done Truth and Peace.
Truth and Peace has impacted my life by making me be more outgoing and just being able to come out of my comfort zone.
We are Truth and Peace!
Hi everyone, my name is Lauren Heron and I am the incoming E-Team coordinator. I wanted to get on here and let you guys know that the applications do close on October 15th. I also wanted to get on here and let you guys know a little bit more about what E-Team is if you didn't know. E-Team is a unique missions outreach opportunity for students who've completed the 10th grade through the 12th grade. They will go all over the globe and they get to share the good news with the missionaries that are located at each of these locations. While the students are on their trip, they will be fully submerged in the culture that is there, that is part of what E-Team really is. They will get to work with the ministries that the missionaries have already put in place. The students will attend a week-long training at Welch College before they go to each of their locations. The dates for E-Team this year are June 9th through the 28th, and that will go from the beginning of training through the closing ceremony. If you have any questions at all, I would love the chance to get to talk with you. My email is eteam@iminc.org, and if you would like to go ahead and apply, just remember they close on the 15th, but if you would like to go ahead and apply, you can go to IM Inc., the website, and then you can click the Serve With Us drop-down menu, and you just click Student Missions, and then you follow the links from there. Again, they do close on October 15th. I am so excited. If you have any questions at all, feel free to message me.
There's something that you guys can all do right now, and Ashley is going to come and share a little bit about that. So, everybody give Ashley a big round of applause.
Yes, sir. Hello. Okay. If everyone has this little nifty paper in front of them or someone beside you, you can look at it. It kind of explains what all of those things that Sarah just talked about are. But CTS, which is the ministry expo that the Free Will Baptist youth are able to go and present their gifts and abilities in competition form. So And it shows you that it includes Bible memorization, Bible games, music performance, drama, and art. And just want to emphasize that there is really something for every person to be able to take part in. I did Bible competition for probably, I don't know, 3rd grade to when I graduated, so about 10 years. And I did Bible memorization, I did sign language, I wrote articles, Bible tic-tac-toe, Bible memorization. There's just so many different things that you can get plugged into. And so we just want to make sure that the students in Ohio know that you guys are supported, and we want you guys to get involved, and we will do whatever it takes to get you guys to be involved. And I know that if you compete at the national level and you win, we'll pay your entry fee to go on to nationals. Obviously, you still pay to get there and all that. But like I said, we want to make sure that everyone has the opportunity and knows about it. And if you have any further questions about, how you actually get into it and maybe what kind of categories are open, please, you can ask me, or Jason Luthi is our Ohio Youth Board chairman, so he probably knows a lot more than I do. But I had another point I was going to talk about. Yes, that was it. Yes, April 1st is the state competition, and so if you want to come, it's at Heritage for Real Baptist in Columbus, Southern Columbus, and you can go and watch the options that do you know how many entries we have so far? Okay, well, you'll get to see some of them, and I forgot to bring a competition book with me, but you can go online and see all of the different competition categories that are there, and you can, do all that fun stuff. They do. Yeah, and they tell a lot of corny jokes. Yeah, and lots of gift cards given away, so it's a fun time. That's all I have. Yeah, hopefully they'll talk longer than me.
Bless you. So also, I wanted to add to what she had shared. Even if you have stage fright and you don't like being in front of people, you can do artwork and things like that, or you can be a puppet. So you can hide behind a stage and no one will ever see your face. So that's an option, right?
If you are in high school and you compete at age category D, and end up going to Welsh or to any of our other colleges, Southeastern or Randall, you can apply and we will give you up to $1,000 to help with your schooling. So we do that also. So if you're a high schooler and you think God's calling you to one of our Free Web colleges, all you do is compete once. You don't have to win. And you just have to fill out our application when you're in college. You can do it each and every year you're there. So that's something else we offer kids who have competed.
All right. So I reached out to our national offices and talked to them about this event tonight. And unfortunately, they were not able to come, but they sent the videos. But they all told me that the 3 people that I had asked to come and share with you about Truth and Peace and about E-Team would do a great job representing them. And so they had their full support. So without further ado, we're going to start with Truth and Peace. I'm going to ask Mason and Millie to come and join us. And they're going to share about Truth and Peace and their experiences with it and all of that. And then after they're done, Emily is going to come and share about E-Team and her experience with that. And then we will bring the 3 of them back up and we'll let you ask questions, okay? Do what?
Can I steal a stool, Paul? So, we're going to do this interview style. Boom.
Should have told him. It would have been funny.
Then I would walk around and be like, there was this church event and I fell off the stage. Try to get your... So this is, we thought interview style might actually last a little bit longer and get more out of them than just having them come up here and be like, we like Truth and Peace. It's fun.
It's a good time.
All right, so we'll start with Mason since he's the oldest, and to Millie. So we know that Truth and Peace is for.
Goodness. Just going downhill. I mean, it just keeps on tumbling.
I'm a little worried about the rest of the night. Mason,
Every time
Go
people
get
look at
started.
me, they scratched.
yeah, yeah. I don't really know what I did here, Paul.
Just breaking things.
I think it goes down here.
It's a brain teaser Paul used to all the ministers.
Yeah, we'll see if that works. So we know that, Truth and Peace is Free Will Baptist high schoolers having a conference and kind of learning some things. But how would you describe what Truth and Peace is after being there a couple years?
Truth and Peace, it's a leadership conference for youth where you are surrounded by friends, peers that are just like-minded and have that same desire just to really follow and pursue Christ and see what he has to do in your life. It's a really cool place where you can, you have just elders who just, it's really, how do I describe this, man? They just constantly are just pouring into you and really just trying to help you develop your own personal relationship with Christ and how you can take that and basically just pursue that in the world and just be unashamed, and then just how you can become a leadership through that.
All right. And so you go ahead and pass it off to Millie. Before I ask Millie, Mason has this unusual condition that most people don't have, and that's when he gets on stage, he all of a sudden starts talking like he's from Alabama.
Let me hear it. That's why. That's what we want.
So we are from Illinois. This is not, I haven't been lying to Ohio for the last 7 years. We are at the University of Illinois, but there's an unusual, circumstance that he has a southern accent condition. We need to get it actually.
Get it checked out,
Yeah,
man.
we need to get verified.
Something could be wrong.
Yeah. So Millie, how would you describe it?
Yeah, same thing like Mason said. It's like just 2 weeks of a community of a bunch of teens your age, of like what he said, like-minded, and just like there to like learn more about leadership skills, like back to your home, and then like constantly getting poured into, learning things more about God and yourself, and just ways to take what you learn from Truth and Peace back home.
And so since I made fun of my oldest, I have to also make fun of my daughter as well. So if you can count how many times she says like, then this will help her get through some of this fighting stuff.
You're funny.
Yeah, I'm funny. All right. So explain to me, or to the group here, when you get on the campus, what does that 2 weeks look like for you guys?
So when you get there, going into Truth and Peace, what team are you on? So like this past year, it was like I was team Whaley. Like what team were you? Eagleton. Like past like missionaries, and we go in there knowing who our team leader is, and then the first night you go to dinner, and then you sit like with your group of like your team, and then like the first couple days it's just like getting to know your team really well. I squid.
So hold on, go back. So that's the very first night you're meeting with your team?
Yeah, but like, like May 1st, like your 301 will send you like a text message of like everyone in the group, and they're like, "Hey guys, I'm your team leader. My name's like Molina Campus. I can't wait to meet you guys. I'm your 301. We're Team Whaley," and then like you get like to like ask you random questions about yourself, and then it's just blindly getting to know everybody until you actually get there at the campus.
And do you already know your team for this coming year yet?
I don't. They'll tell us, since we're 301s.
So you will be a leader.
We'll be the leaders
you'll
this
be
year.
The leader of the team.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what else, Mason? Your 2 weeks there at the campuses where you're doing your instruction before you get to national. What does that look like?
So yeah, these 2 weeks here, you get with your team, like Amelia was saying, they become like your family. Like I'm still close with all of them people up there. We're texting every day, constantly just talking, checking up, encouraging each other. And then besides the teams itself, you also just get to meet a whole bunch of people whom you go to classes with, whom you get to go to worship every night and church every night with, who you just get to spend time and just build really, really good relationships with all these different people from all across America and some across other countries too.
Yep. All right, Mason, you can start us off on this one. When most of us think Truth and Peace kids at the National Convention, this is what you think, right? Yeah, they're the ones having to do crowd control. They're the ones that won't let you in to see your, once the doors close, they're supposed to stay closed. And so, Mason, what does the National Convention time look like for a Truth and Peace peacer?
Work. It looks like work, and it's good because that's kind of what they train you to do back at the at either Willow Randall, where you'll be staying at before. Is they just train you how to be a leader, and here you get to use what they've taught you, and you get to become the leader. You get to help serve the convention, and yeah, you'll get people like holding the doors, and I've heard stories of like little old ladies coming up and whacking some of the people with canes. And then we just get to serve. Like, for me, I love serving with the kids. I love being part of that kids ministry. Just like it's just so cool to be alongside and see some of those little kids come to faith. Like, that was such a cool thing for me to experience. And then, they're everywhere, just constantly being a help, being a service, just trying to help the convention run.
Was anybody at the convention last year? Did anybody remember the hallway that connected the two places that was like 40 below? There was one hallway I don't know, was it the solos? Or
it was something? Right by the solos, the instruments.
Yeah.
It was like Antarctica
So
in there.
It
It was like 3 hours. I was just sitting there holding that sign, freezing my butt off. Anything to help the convention, man.
So, Millie, we know, like Mason was saying, you guys at the convention, you guys work. But what else, what's fun about being a Truth and Peace person there during the national convention?
It's almost like being pre-grown-ups, I guess. You're not with your parents, and it's you and your friends in a big city without any grown-ups, I guess. So it's we just get to be by yourselves and I don't even know
Not so bad. You're doing good. That was a really good answer. I was surprised by that answer. It's like being pre-grown-ups.
I don't know.
So are you spending that time at National, is it fully just with your Truth and Peace people? Or are you with your church people, with your family? How is that divided?
So throughout the day, if let's say you're not working at the time, you basically have a free time until there's that word again. After let's say dinner time, after service, you come back together as Truth and Peace from 8 till 10 o'clock, and then Alan will just talk about how the day went, any funny stories, what went well that day, what we can improve on, and stuff like that. But throughout the day, when you're not working, you get to go eat lunch, and you can either go with your church family or with your friends out and just do fun things around the city.
All right. So Millie, what's the fun of Truth and Peace?
All the activities that we get to go to as Truth and Peace together. In this picture you can see here, we all went to a soccer game in Nashville. I wish I could say I had a fun time that day, but I think I had COVID, so I was struggling that day. But just the cheering, and we all pick a player to cheer for, and it's just a bunch of fun and energy, and then just, I don't know, it's really fun.
Yeah. The fun of Truth and Peace is Truth and Peace. It's who you're hanging out with, who you're having a blast. For me, we just had a couple of my buddies, and we all just ran around, just jumping up and down, chanting with everybody. And there's fun just at Truth and Peace, just hanging out late at night in the dorm room, doing something stupid, or just being together during worship time. That's the coolest experience for me. I love worship. And getting to hear a bunch of people in fellowship, just singing and praising, raising hands. It's so cool. Another fun is you saw whipped cream the face during all the games running around. In your team, you have like game time and everything, and it's like a miniature Olympics. All the teams are competing against each other. You got a whole bunch of standings. It's just so much fun. The community and fellowship there is just, it's unreal. It's so cool. They're like your family. It just becomes a whole bunch of family.
All right, so in that 2-week session, what are you actually learning?
You're learning how you can grow your own like personal spiritual faith. You also learn how to not be like, I guess, ashamed of it, like how you can truly just bring it on and bring it out into your community. And you also learn how to become like a servant leader and use that leadership to help spread the gospel through your community in whatever way you possibly can.
Yeah, like we have our life groups, and that's people your own age, and like I was with a bunch of girls my age, with a bunch of guys his age, and each year there's like a book of the Bible we go through. So 2 years ago it was 1 John, this past year it was 1 Peter, and we basically get to study books of the Bible together and like pour into each other, see what we take from this and how we can learn from it. And then like just pray over each other, and we also learn like he said life skills and like leadership skills we can take back home. To like again not be so ashamed of the gospel, but like to be able to pour into other people in our churches and our everyday communities like that.
Okay. And Millie, explain what you're learning as a 101 versus a 201 versus a 301. What are those numbers? What's 101, 201, 301,
Okay.
401?
So 101 is like the first year of Truth and Peace. And so like Truth and Peace takes 120 101s, which is a big group of people. And basically you're just starting like Truth and Peace. Like this is basically like, again, like learning like how to be an everyday leader in your community and taking things like that. And then you go into your 201 year if you apply again, and they cut that number straight in half, and they'll take 60 of you. And the number starts to get more competitive. And here, you like take on more leadership roles at Truth and Peace. And this is basically the big year where they test you and see like how good of a leader can you be. So the 201s, like we do worship services and packing the buses, which is awful, but they're really testing you your 201 year. Like, do they want to come back for the 301 year? No. And then your 301 year, they went from 60 to 20, which is a really, really big cutoff. And 301 year is like you're the leader at Truth and Peace. Like you have your own group of people that are looking up to you, like your 101s and 201s. You're like, all right, like they're looking at you as a role model of like what to be at Truth and Peace. And then 301s, you're just like, you are the leader. And then your 401 year is going from like 20 to like 8 to 10. We, since COVID, have never had 401s at Truth and Peace. So I can't like tell you like a very detailed thing about 401s, but like they're like miniature staff, I would say. Like they're the only ones that keep their phone at Truth and Peace. And they're like what helps keep Truth and Peace running.
So how hard is it to not have your phone for 2 weeks?
Okay, the first couple of days, it's like weird because you're like, I'm always like checking my phone, like what's new on social media. But then like it just becomes like not important anymore. Like you're like, you get your phone back and you're like, I don't even want this at this point. Like, because you get so close with these people and like you're constantly doing things and pouring into each other, and you're like, it just becomes like just a phone.
Yep.
It's hard for parents.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
It's hard for me.
Yeah, it's hard for the moms for sure. How many people in here has ever done Truth and Peace? Kylie, Derek, Ashley. You got a few of you have experienced this. All right, Mason, how have you changed through your Truth and Peace experience?
I think how I've changed is I've made my relationship with God my own through Truth and Peace. I feel like it was almost like the revival I feel like I needed within me to just really just make my faith my own and live my faith out. That's what I really feel like I've changed with, is not being afraid to share the gospel, be way more open and just really, like I've said, unashamed about it all.
Okay.
I would say how I've changed is just like being able to talk to you guys today. Like 2 years ago before Truth and Peace, I was such an introvert. I could really talk to my friends, right? But like now, like as you can see in that picture, like just being able to like talk in front of like thousands of people and like just like get out of my comfort zone and be able to speak in front of like even you guys today is ways that Truth and Peace has really helped.
Yeah, before Truth and Peace, Millie would have been crying about having to do this. And that's legit crying, like, "Dad, don't make me do it, don't make me do it." Yeah, for sure. And but now, yeah. So yeah, it's been cool as the parents, and to see how your child comes back, and you can start to see the differences. And we've seen just what they've said. That with Mason, we've seen his faith, become his own, and with Millie, we've seen her, be able to have more confidence in her interactions with people. And so most of you in here in Ohio, you know that I'm an introvert. I share that all the time, and so this one, she's more like me on the inside, and then that one is more like his mom on the inside, more bubbly, more outgoing, and so. Thankfully, they both look like their mom. So look at that hair. He doesn't have his dad's hair. Can you see that? All right, last question. Well, two more questions. So Mason, we'll start with you. What is the application process like? If anybody is here thinking about Truth and Peace, any parents want to talk to their kids about Truth and Peace, what's some hints? What's something to know about the application process? And it wouldn't be happening till, like next October?
Yeah.
It starts right after Truth.
So it starts right after right after the convention.
Yeah.
So, okay. So July to into September.
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing about the application process is to really not be bland about anything, to really just go into detail and just be super personal with your application. Don't try to, sugarcoat it and make you seem just such a good person, but really just truly just give your life story and just, all the important little details and things about you, because I feel like that's what they really care about, is who you are and how they want you in your conference. So as personal as you could get it is the better.
Okay. And so Millie, this year you were part of that 60 to 20, and how did it feel getting the acceptance letter?
Okay, so I was actually home that day, and me and Mom were like, oh my God, it's the mailman. Let's run to the mailbox and see if it's our Truth and Peace letters. And then I see two big envelopes of Truth and Peace letters. I open it, and it says, Millie Penn, congratulations, you have been accepted in Truth and Peace. And I literally started bawling. Because, I haven't, that was not, the brightest moments in my life, I guess, but just, seeing that, Truth and Peace, it was just something I really, really needed at the time.
It's okay. It's a pretty good feeling.
Yeah, you can see by her face on the screen, she was pretty happy about it. Yeah. So, the friendships they make, just really close group of friends, that's a huge part of Truth and Peace. And just kind of, the last question is just going to be, what's a good story, a moment that you like with your friends or something silly that happened? So, for example, here is Mason trying to do the laundry. If you see all the water on the floor, that is because of Mason.
I may have flooded the laundromat that day. My thing exploded on me. It's me staying in a little puddle. It was this deep throughout the entire thing. I put it in there. The thing went, psh, it was like a water fountain, dude. It exploded up and everywhere. I was like, what is going on? I'm staring at my Crocs. My socks are soaked. It was wild.
One of my favorite things from this past year at Truth and Peace was with the director, Alan Pointer. And so, every year we have a day where we go off campus and we go to lunch. And so we go in our vans, and me and our friends and Mason were like, we'll go with Alan, and it was a mystery van, right? So again, there's I don't know where we're to eat for lunch. And so we made a game up, and we're like, all right, left or right? And so we would pass all these good restaurants, like Raising Cane's and Chick-fil-A. and we ended up at Taco Bell. But I guess it wasn't the destination, but the journey, I guess. But it was just, it was just super fun, and like getting to know Alan, it was really fun.
All right. And that's the kids on Truth and Peace.
The Ohio Student Ministries Board will put $450 in your account. So if you this year we only had one student, you guys need to move to Ohio. I told your dad. This year we had one
Like
student.
a complimentary resident, right?
So that's just a thank you to the students who apply and get accepted. We do that each and every year. A student goes to Truth and Peace.
All right. So next we're going to hear about E-Team, and Emily is going to come and share about her trip last year.
All right. Hello, my name is Emily. I'm just going to share a little bit about E-Team and what it's like in my experience with E-Team. I went to Spain last year and I got accepted, and I'm going to Brazil this year in the summer. So what is E-Team? E-Team is a 3-week missions trip for teenagers. The goal is for these teenagers to get a feel of what it's like to be an international missionary and change their hearts, change their view of missions. The E-Team Student Missions website says this. It says, E-Team is a life-changing short-term summer missions experience for students. These opportunities open students' eyes to cross-cultural ministry and give them a heart for reaching the nations with the gospel. Students will experience the life of an IM missionary and what it's like to serve internationally. This is exactly what E-Team is all about. It's life-changing. It's like a really big, that's a really big word to use, but they said it in the beginning, and I was like, really? I don't know. Just like, you wouldn't think like a 3-week thing like that would change your life, but it really does, and it changes your view. For me personally, just seeing the work that goes into being a missionary and all the things that they're praying for and all the opportunities they're praying for, all the relationships that they don't have but they're praying for, we all have here in Ohio, and it's something that really spoke to me, and I have used it this year after E-Team to share the gospel through that. So the application process is pretty easy. There are a couple requirements. You have to know Jesus Christ as your Savior. You have to have a desire to share Christ with others, which if you do know Christ as your Savior, you know, like that's going to be, you're going to want to share Christ with others anyways. It's going to come naturally. You have to complete 10th grade prior to the trip. So if you're in 9th grade now and you submit your application this year, you'll be eligible for next year. And then you have to have parent approval and pastor recommendation. Some requirements that are not requirements are you don't have to be comfortable, you don't have to be outgoing, you don't have to be a people person. I'm none of those. I actually don't. This right here is not me. I don't like speaking in front of people. I don't like going to places that I don't know. And so whenever I felt God telling me to fill up this application, I was like, why? Like, I did not want to. I really didn't want to. Everyone was telling me to, and God was telling me to, so I did it. And I got accepted. I actually got accepted for the 2021 trip, but it got canceled due to COVID. And so I got accepted again for 2022 to Spain. And at first I was really excited, and then I was like, I'm actually going away for 3 weeks. I won't have a phone. I won't know anybody. There was no one that I knew when I went into the trip. So, but as soon as you got there, like they said about Truth and Peace, E-Team, it's like a family. As soon as you get there, as soon as you get there, it's just like everyone feels like home. Like it's just like, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know how to explain it. It's weird. But and then there's also opportunities for adults, for leaders. Leaders play a really big impact. I had Tim and Christy Johnson. They were so amazing. They're basically like your mom and dad for 3 weeks. They're just like, they're people that you go to for everything. I'm allergic to shellfish, and so Christy, she did all the worrying for me. I didn't have to worry at all. She made sure everything was safe for me, and just having that person to like worry for you, they are making sure that you're safe, making sure that you're comfortable. It's really important through the trip. So when you get there in June. June 9th was last year, and then it was this year as well. It's going to be June 9th. It's called Training Week, so you have team bonding. Team bonding week, we basically just have to figure out how our team works together. It's really important going out to the field and going out in Spain to know the strengths and weaknesses of your team. And as you can see in that picture, I'm sitting off because building Legos is not my strength at all. we learned that one. I did not help at all. We also did a lot of ministry prep. So we had music practice, which our team was not good at that either. But we sung, and the people of Spain liked it a lot, so that worked. We did cardboard testimony practice. Cardboard testimonies, basically, we had a song, and it was called This Is My Testimony, but they played it in Spanish so that they would understand. And each person got 2 different cardboards, and the first side would say, like, what you were like before Christian. The second would say how you've changed. And this really spoke to the people in Spain. We would look out in the churches, and they're like all crying just by our testimonies, and that was really opening to see how they relate to us, and they want that. They want people to relate with. We also practiced face painting and balloon figure making for our outreach that we were going to do the first Saturday we were in Spain. So, but all of the teams were doing it together. So there was a lot of popping in that room. It was so bad. And my ears were dying. But when we actually did it, we were a lot better. So that went well. We also did a lot of spiritual growth and learn and just different ways to grow spiritually. We did 30-minute devotionals each day. They were all personal devotions, so they would make you all split up in different areas. They didn't want anyone together, and I thought that was really cool. Some people were praying, some people were reading the Bible. Whatever you can grow spiritually in that 30 minutes, and I went through multiple different books of the Bible just in E-Team, just by reading 30 minutes each day of my Bible, and I think it was just really cool to see that in every one of us. And actually, our team, it wasn't like required or anything, but we decided to do it ourselves, so we all got ready like 30 minutes early and came downstairs in the morning, and before we went wherever we were going that day, and all did 30-minute devotionals together, which I thought was really cool how we all made that commitment ourselves. We had service every day, which it was amazing to see everyone worshiping together, people that are serving the same God as you, and it's just so cool to see everyone your age feeling that same way. We did a concert of prayer, which you can, no, that's different, never mind. We did a concert of prayer, so just praying for all types of different things. We prayed for our churches, for Spain, for our personal lives. Just anything. We really opened up with our team in that time. And they separate into girls and boys as well, so you can just feel a little bit more comfortable. And I was able to share with Abigail and Lainey just different things, and we just all prayed together over those, and it was just really comforting. We also did a service of worship, which is that picture. It is, what's it called? So we just did a bunch of different ways that we could worship. One of them was they put a big white sheet of paper down, and we could just write and worship, which I thought was a really cool way. I've always you can write and worship. But I just seeing how they explained it and how thanking God on a piece of paper. Really, I love to write, and so it was just really cool. And so that's me and Abigail and Lainey up there, all writing. All right, and then after training week, you depart to your. Yep, you can depart to your fields. Each team splits up into their groups, and you go to your different destinations. And then once you get there, we did a lot of different things. Pastor Paul, you could. Thank you. Thanks. We did different things. We did prayer walks. Prayer walks was really cool just to see how the IM missionaries there, that's what they do constantly. Like, they told us, like, this isn't just like you guys, like showing you guys, this is what we do like all the time. Like, we walked around different towns and just prayed for different spots in the towns. I think we did like 5 or 6 towns each day, just walking around each one and stopping, praying for different opportunities for the IM missionaries, that they would just be able to impact them in some way, which I thought was really cool. We also did the strategy on the mountain. So we walked up this big mountain, and it was really, really long. And we got up there, and it was like, you're down there. But then as soon as you got up there, you looked over everything, and it was so cool to see. You just saw, all the different towns that we prayed for. You got up there and saw all of them. And then Anthony, which is the missionary in Spain that we stayed with, he basically told us all the statistics. I don't know all of them off my top of my head. I should have looked those up before. But basically told us that all these towns, there's probably like 5 Bible teaching churches in that. And most of them are Catholic churches. And I thought it was just crazy that, like, we're looking over this big town, but I can look down the street and there's 5 different Bible teaching churches. But for them, all of it is Catholic. And so it was just really sad and just crazy, and made me more thankful to be where I'm at, and showed me where I need to share the gospel and why it's important. We also did a lot of culture and history learning. So we went to a bullfight, actually, which was insane. My friend Abigail did not like it at all. It was very intense. It wasn't like hiding anything. It was insane. So we did that. We went to different places around Spain, and Lee and Anthony were able to explain everything to us. To be a missionary, you really have to know the history and the culture of wherever you're going, because that's how you make connections. That's how you're able to relate with these people, if you know where they're coming from, if you know their culture. There's a lot of things. There was a couple that I was like, I didn't realize that Spain does, but we don't. And so if you didn't know that, it would be hard to walk around and you're like the outcast doing whatever else someone else isn't. And then some ministry outreaches that we did. We did a festival in the park, which I talked about. It was the balloon making the face painting. This was the first Saturday that we were there. It's that top left picture. I had to think for a second. We basically just went to the park, set up games, set up activities. It was really fun. And it was really cool. We didn't think that there wasn't that many people there. And so we kind of we could tell our leaders were getting discouraged, but we thought it was fun because we were talking, but we didn't know what we were saying. We didn't know what they were saying. We were just hoping that they understood us. But we thought it was really fun. But they were getting discouraged. And then at the very end, a girl from their church was very interested in being an E-team, and she was like, I just saw how happy they were and how much fun they were having, and I would just really love to do that myself. And I just thought that was really cool that we had an impact on her because of that. We also did a food outreach. We fed about 84 families, I believe, around 300 and something people. So basically we just organized a bunch of food, a bunch of canned goods, vegetables, fruits, all different type of things. We did English Connection. So as an IM missionary, they in Spain, they have a weekly class for their people in Spain, and just to teach them English. And using that, they they would bring up different questions. As I noticed, they would bring up different questions to get different things out of the people, to really kind of make a connection to God through those questions. So they were able to minister that way, and I thought that was really cool. We also did a Nerf War outreach. We didn't actually do the outreach itself, but we helped prepare for it and basically just show like time, how long it took to set up and take down, so that whenever the actual missionaries did it, they were able to know like how long they would need and how well it would go. And then we did a lot of music and testimonies. We went to 2 different churches in the 2 Sundays that we were there. This is me, telling my testimony, and then Rafa translated it for me, which, yeah, he was freaking out. But we did that, and we were able to sing to the different churches and then do our cardboard testimonies, like I said, and just seeing how our testimonies related to the people was really neat. And Lainey, who was a girl on my team, her testimony was about being lonely and how God brought her out of that. And there was one lady in there who really just like, it just spoke to her so much, and it was just so neat to see. And that is it. If you are interested, you can visit this link. I would encourage all the 9th graders to apply for E-Team this year. I believe applications open in July, so yes, I cannot go again, sadly, but please, if you are interested, ask me, or you can go to this link and I'll give you some information there. And that's it.
All right, well, we're going to ask Mason and Millie to come back up, and Emily's going to join us. And we're going to take questions from the audience now. If anybody has any questions for the 3 of them. Tyler, you asked great questions. We're going to ask some more, hopefully. All right, hit it. Who has a question? All right.
What's so good about the thing you go to? ET, whatever it's called.
What's their favorite thing about what they went to?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll let you all 3 go.
My favorite thing is the relationships you build with the people, the friends, the community. I mean, they just become my best friends. I mean, it is just so much fun just hanging out with them. I mean, that's my favorite thing, is just the people.
Yeah, like Mason said, it's just like building like strong relationships with people. And like right before this, we're like texting the group chat of like our best friends from Truth and Peace. So it's just, but like Truth and Peace is just so good because of like the relationships we build with ourselves, our friends, and with God.
I hate to say the same thing, but it's yeah, really. Like I said, whenever I went into it, I was like, I know nobody. Like, I was like, this is gonna be so awkward. I don't want to go. I was crying in the car on the way there. I was like, I really don't. This is gonna be so awkward. But as soon as I got there, Abigail was the first person there, and me and Abigail and Lainey and Josh and Rafa, that was all the names that are our team. And we're just so close now, it's crazy. Abigail just came up in January, actually. She's from Arkansas, so she just came up to visit me, and just the connections you make it's crazy. It's just like, they're like your siblings at the end of the trip. It's like you mess with them, they hate you at some point, they love you at some point. It's great.
All right.
Truth and Peacers. You said that you studied like a book of the Bible. Mm-hmm. Is that like your pick, or is that like the 301 picks, or who organizes that?
So I would say the staff organizes that. I don't know if Alan picks it out or someone among the staff, but really quick. They pick a book of the Bible, and then it's like ours was First Peter this past year, and so then like they have like each like life group leader has their own like study version of it, and then they get to pour into us about it, and then we get to do it in their groups with people.
So all the Truth and Peacers focus on like First Peter?
Mm-hmm.
Or, okay.
Yeah.
And are you guys both 301s this year?
We are. because of COVID, yeah. So even though he's a year older than me, we're both 301s this year.
We got plenty of time.
Yeah.
You would be.
You can
yeah.
definitely sign up for it.
So Truth and Peace is from 10th grade to 12th grade. And so going into, if you filled out your freshman year of high school, then you'd be accepted. You just had to complete the 9th grade to be able to go into Truth and Peace.
So you apply while you're in 9th grade, and then you go the summer after, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
You guys tell me about Spain?
She went to Spain. Yeah.
Yes.
Isn't that somewhere in Europe?
Is it in Europe?
Yes.
She did not know she was taking a geography test today. She got on the plane and it landed. She's going somewhere else this year. Where are you going this year? She's going to Brazil. Where are you guys going?
Randall University.
And then North Carolina.
All right, yes. Emily, isn't there a program after E-team that you can go, like if you've
Yeah.
aged? I was trying to think of the word to use. Are you interested in doing that?
Yeah,
or-
I think I would definitely be interested. I'm not sure if is it just for international students or is it for? Yeah, I know it's CMP. Yeah, so I think I would definitely be interested. It's not like you don't go in as big as groups. I think you just go in, or in pairs, right? But yeah.
And they stay longer. It's not as.
Bailey Floyd, she was there. She was in Spain while we were. She was in Spain while we were in on our missions trip, and she was so cool. So, and she was doing her thing. She had to do a lot of she had school as she was doing it though. She had to answer questions as she was going throughout the trip, and then she had to bring back certain things. I think. Hers was a. When you're a mission major, at my college, you have to do an OA or overseas apprenticeship, so they'll use that. Yeah.
You can keep it because I have a question.
Okay.
I know you said that you were just there to set it up, but what is a Nerf War outreach? Because that sounds fun.
So they in the town that we were, and the other missionaries that were there, they are trying to reach out to a new town now, and in that town there's a lot of kids who get in a lot of trouble. A lot of them are little, and they're just getting into things that they shouldn't because there's just nothing to do, and I think there's a really big school right there where they're trying to do the outreach. So it's really, they're just going to set up all those things that was up there and then invite everybody, and it's going to be like a Nerf gun war.
So they provide the guns
Yeah.
for the kids
Yep.
to shoot each other?
Yep. And the big foot, I don't know what they are called, but yeah, that's the word. They're humongous, and you can hide behind them. And it was fun for us. It was like a gift with the outreach.
There you go. That sounds cool. All right. Any other questions? Where do you stay?
So E-team, you can stay in different places. Some teams stayed in different houses from people from the churches wherever they were. For us, Kylie's. But for us, we all stayed in a house together. So it was really cool. The girls stayed in one room, the boys, and then our leaders had a room across the hall. And it was just really cool. So that's why it felt even more like a family, because you were all just going in your house together, and then I don't know, it was just really cool. So it really depends on where you go. I'm not sure what it's going to be like in Brazil, which I'm kind of scared for, because the whole house thing was nice because you didn't have to stay with anyone that you didn't know. But I think that'll be another cool thing to see myself, being in someone else's house that you don't know how to talk to them, but they're just trying to I don't know, welcome you in.
Totally different wherever you go, because like when Kylie went to Panama, she stayed in this room and there was 3 people to a bed. And then when she got her phone, she texted me a picture, and above that was a bug nest, like a net, and it was full. I would not have been sleeping. It was meant to catch. I would have had stuff in my ears and on my nose.
Yeah, the only thing bad was not having air conditioning in Spain, but
Oh yeah, well yeah.
yeah, but yeah, not yeah, literally.
Where else did you go?
Did you have a question? Did you have a question, Shay? Oh, I thought you raised your hand. All right. Any other questions? No, nobody? Yes.
For Truth and Peace, you said you were there for 2 weeks, right? How was your day split up? And is every day the same, or is every day different? And I have a question for everyone.
I mean, it's similar. It's all based on a schedule. And then every day you'll get like a new activity. So one day we'll go to the big soccer game. The next day you're just running around doing like I said, like the Olympics sort of thing. So just a whole bunch of games with your team. Yeah, it's overall pretty routine in how you do things.
Yeah, it's like the first week and a half you're at the Bible college, and then like the rest of the Truth and Peace time is at the Nationals. But like one day you're out, like he said, the soccer game. They do baseball games. We do a day at the mall. We do like fast food like days. We like 301s go out and have their own day. So like there's just every day is sort of similar, but like they give us a schedule. It's like, all right, breakfast is at this time. Then life groups are at this time. But then like at the end of the days is like sort of different.
You said you had another question?
I did. I had one for Emily. She mentioned that they went out to lunch with Alan, and it was, what do you call it? The guess your lunch.
Oh, yeah.
That
location.
was Mason. That was Millie.
Yeah. Do you have that? Guess your lunch day where you.
No, it is a guess every single time what you're gonna get. Yeah, the food. Yeah, that's. No, they, the missionary. So we had a couple times that we went out. A lot of time, Anthony, he's a really good cook. He cooked a lot of different like Spanish meals for us. That was like culture, like that they eat a lot. Which I forget the names of them because I wouldn't be able to tell them even if I did remember. But I know one was like, it's like an egg and like a tortilla thing. Everyone else liked it. I did not. They had a rice with shrimp, and which I could not eat, obviously.